for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 23 coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, AOEAH.com. Use code VENM at checkout for 3% off your order. Yo, what's good? It's Ben Fire here, back on the video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys another offensive scheme in Madden 23. Today we're going to be bringing you guys our Steelers gun bunch offensive scheme. Now, it's going to be one of the best bunches in the game. I think it is better than bunch offset. You see a lot of the pros are running this particular Steelers bunch, particularly guys like Kib, I know, and a lot of the other guys. I think Skimbo running Steelers bunch. It is definitely the best bunch right now, I would have to say, and it just has really all the plays you need, a lot of unique plays, and it has one of the play that's going to be a nice cover 3 beater. Overall, just really difficult to stop. Now, hopping into it, we're going to once again be in the bunch, and there's just a lot of good plays. So starting out, we got Z-spot on the left. You actually cannot see that. Steelers cross on the left, which you can also not see, but you have things like bunch trail in the middle. Corner strike on the right, which is an interesting play. You have your base, deep corner, which you can also not see, verticals, and that's about it. So, you really have all the plays you need, I would say. As far as our autos go, we'll just do Steelers cross, base, verticals, and deep corner. Again, we will, of course, touch base on some of the other plays as well. Let's start out with the corner strike. Now, before we get into the video, make sure you guys drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below for more daily Madden 23 videos. Now, corner strike is interesting. This play is going to be pretty good against man coverage, as I actually will have to reset briefly just because we want to get on the right side. But the C route is actually really good this year, specifically against man coverage, so I'm actually switching man coverage briefly as well. All right, so let's show it against some man coverage, and again, just kind of focusing on the C route there, and you see he kind of fries. Now, I threw that late, and we still had enough space to get it open. With this corner strike play, I really just like to running it against man coverage. I won't really run it against any other formation, if I'm being honest. But just against man coverage, it can definitely cook. If you throw it at the right time, again, that's a late throw, bad timing by me, and we're still able to catch it. So that just shows how much, it is really open. Now the rest of the play, you have another corner out, but you throw it right there, pass lead to the outside with a free form, which we did not do a good job of there. And generally, it's a routine completion. So if you're facing man coverage, that's something really good. The only way your opponent can stop this is with an outside third on that side. So an outside third will stop this, but if they're in straight man, should be easy money. Again, these are bad throws by me. So faster release, of course, should be more routine. Now, over on the other side, what you can do is you have another corner out with McCole Hardman. It doesn't really get as open. It's a little bit riskier because it goes upfield. So even if you pass it to the outside, a lot of times you'll see those corners undercut it. So I'm not the biggest fan of it personally, but you don't really have many other options. You can go with like an out route to Kelsey or your tight end. So decent play against man, but let's actually switch back to our zone coverage, just so we don't have to really worry about it too much. Because the rest of the plays, we want to focus more on zone coverage. Although I'll talk about, how they beat man coverage. Let's go into our deep corner play here. And again, cover 3 is going to be the coverage that it beats. And with cover 3, all you really have to do is streak RB, come back B. I like to block my running back. Now, it's preferred that you are able to roll out against a 4-man rush. If it's a 3-man rush, you can kind of sit in the pocket and be able to make that decision. But against a 4-man rush, I think it is a little bit better to try and get this cut block, which we're able to get there. You're able to scramble out, and you see you just have so much space to throw this ball. It's not even really funny, how much space you have right there. So super easy play. Now, the biggest problem with this play is just going to be, will your protection hold up? That's the biggest question mark. If it's man coverage, also McCole Hardman definitely can get open on that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be cover 3. So again, that time was no pass lead, and we still have enough space to get open. Speed doesn't even really matter because you see how much the comeback route is holding down the outside thirds. Speed, even if you had this Juju there, someone with less speed, it wouldn't really affect the play. Now, it is important that you have the comeback. It kind of is open without it, but it's definitely preferred to have the comeback so that you have just some extra time. Boom, rifle it down the field, and just an easy walk-in touchdown. So that's why this deep corner play is pretty good. This play is in not too many playbooks, so that's one of the kind of big things with it. All right, so that's going to take us into our next setups with this, because of course it can be cover 3, but it can also do some other things for you. It has a nice corner out, and then you kind of mix it in with some of these other routes, like throwing a backside slant, especially if it's man coverage, and then maybe Kelsey on a little out route. So you can just mix it up with things like that. Just throw kitchen sink at it. First read is going to be kind of Kelsey on this, as well as your backside slant. And then some of the other options are going to entail, the corner route that you have, as well as just your slant. You can also kind of throw this Hardman pass in the middle. It just depends on how your protection holds up. Now, this corner route is not the best to throw just stock. That really should have been an interception with a click on. But what you can do is go with a streak. So you don't have to run it as a cover 3 beater every time. Something I like to do is, again, the quick wheel routes as well. Because with the quick wheel routes, you can just kind of snap throw them and they'll be open. Now, I do like to motion out Hardman. That will allow you to block Kelsey if you need. Otherwise, you can just send him out on his route, and this will open up Juju in his corner route, wide open, easy completion. So, pretty simple stuff there. And again, going back to this wheel route, what I like to do is you can just kind of snap throw it and pick up easy 5 yards, spam A. A lot of times just get an easy 10 yards. That's good against man coverage. That's good against zone. So it's a nice universal concept. You can just kind of snap throw it, and you see 7, 8 yards. Just simple stuff. So, pretty easy that you can just do that. You love to see it. The rest of the play, it's just with that corner out. I'm not running too much else stuff behind it. If you want, you can just run a max protect potentially, just like this. A little slant, corner out, and streak. Just keep things simple. If it's man coverage, that's not the best setup against zone, but still could work, honestly. So that's really going to be it for our deep corner play. Let's hop into our next play, which is going to be the base. Let's go into a base. Now, base, it's not necessarily groundbreaking. We all know what base is, but it's just a decent, solid run. If you're running bunch, the odds are you're probably not running the ball too often anyway, but it just can pick you up some solid yards. I recommend trying to get it on the ground double-digit times a game if you're running bunch. That's probably a little bit difficult for a lot of you guys that run just, heavy passing, but if you really try, the run is very good this year, especially some people just assume that you refuse to run the ball. Just run the ball until they can stop you. It's not necessarily fun to run the ball, but you can just run the ball until they can stop you, and you're going to win games pretty easily. You see you with some patient running there. We're picking up 15, 20 yards with ease without even being touched. And again, just patient running, keep things simple, let the blocks develop. Even without it, 6-yard gain. So definitely like base a lot. I think it's just a good run, and I think it's also worth having in my audibles. If I see a look $3 that I like, taking advantage of that every time. Now, moving on to our next play, we're going to go into the Steelers cross. I like this play against man coverage as well. You have initially a couple routes that I like in being Edwards-Helaire, as well as this route with Juju. Now, what you can do is go with a backside slant and then also block your tight end. This is something I like to do. And you see you can just kind of fire that crosser over the top when you have that slant motioned over. It's a really good man coverage setup as well. Both routes will get open, your slant and your crosser, which love to see. And then again, you can't block the tight end until you motion them over. If you want, you can also max protect. Just keep things simple. I would probably just streak Valdez-Scantling in this situation. So you have your slant you can throw. It's going to be better against man coverage, or if there's a user there's probably a hole somewhere open that makes any sense. You can also run this concept out of verticals. I will show that just to get a deeper crosser. If you want, you can also throw Kelsey on a little out route. I would again streak probably Valdez-Scantling, but as far as throwing it on the sideline, probably not your best idea unless they are playing super underneath. Otherwise, I would try and throw it in the middle of the field, preferably, honestly. Now, if you're running it stock, what you can do is something maybe like this, just a little basic curl, a little out route with Valdez-Scantling, then maybe a quick motion out, and then you can kind of fire it in. That was a terrible read, never mind. But if there's a user there, if he goes to the wheel route, you can throw it to him. If he doesn't go with the crosser, then you can throw the wheel route. So we'll show that again, just real quick. Motion Hardman out, snap the ball, and again, you can quick throw this really easily, or if you want to wait, it'll be open, anyway. So that's going to take us into our last play in our set of audibles, which is going to be vertical. All right, so hopping into our last play, it's going to be verticals, and with verticals, what you can do is just a nice basic, simple setup I like to run. I like to keep things simple when I'm running the verticals play with something like a streak, or I actually like the wheel routes this year since they're similar, so you just go with something like this. Attack the seams very easily. You can throw it to CEH quickly or throw it to Kelsey quickly, and you have a couple of things open there. So again, I like the wheel route. You can motion out Hardman as well just to clear up some space for your tight end. You can throw Kelsey late, or you can throw to your crosser early, which is Juju in this case. Really, either would work. Again, we want to kind of clear Hardman out of there, so motion him probably as far as you can. With Kelsey, you want to pass it outside and kind of fit it in right there. I like possession catching in that situation, or aggressive catching to make sure you at least hold on to it. If they have a knockout, that could also be a draw potentially as well. Now, that's that window. Now you have your window to throw it to Juju, which is just going to be right here. Very easily, he splits it because both linebackers are held down by the wheel route stock, so even if it's using it, you'll always have one of those three open against zone coverage. If it's man coverage, what you can do is maybe throw Kelsey on like a little in route and just kind of run it stock like this. You just have two little crossers. One of them is bound to kind of get open there. If you do have enough time to kind of throw it on the sideline, what you can do, as I mentioned earlier, is kind of run it like Steelers cross. What I mean by that is go with like a little backside slant. You maybe block Kelsey and then maybe throw your out route to the other side, something like that. Or of course max protect, and then you can fire it in right there. So just overall, just giving you a lot of options out of this verticals play. It is unique. It's not run as much anymore. It should still be decent against man coverage with Juju. I don't know what I audibled to right there accidentally, but overall, it's definitely a play you want to use, I would say. I think it's worth having in the audibles. It's very versatile. You see that you can do like a ton of different setups, just basic things like this as well. Just a little out route, fire it over the top. If you're able to fit in these little deep crossers, they're going to be good against man, good against zone. It's going to help you move the ball down the field really easily. So I do recommend doing that. And yeah, I don't have too many other setups besides that. Again, you have a little in route that you can throw to Kelsey. He usually gets bumped, which actually ends up helping you. So I do like the in route rather than maybe a drag in that situation. Although maybe the free form would help you rack catch a drag more potentially. But yeah, I mean, you can go with the quick wheel route, snap throw, and you're out there and you spam A, hoping to break a tackle or get like a stiff arm. Worst case scenario, you're falling forward. So definitely take those. Let's hop into our next set of audibles though. And then ones that I'm going to run are going to be let's go Z spot, which Z spot, similar to deep corner. The corner out is just a little bit different. It's a little bit more upfield. Let's throw dig return in, and then I think let's go, I guess just bunch trail. A lot of these plays similar with the corner routes, so there's not too big of a difference, but I will show some of the setups I like out of Z spot in particular, and some of those are just going to be to like motion out Hardman. Now, in order to get it open against cover 3, you do need the outside streak, otherwise it just will not get open. So you can go with like a little wheel route over here, a little out route. With Kelsey, you can put him on a little in route. So just mixing it up like this, kind of covers all your bases. So that's one setup. I'll show that one again. Then I'll show something else you do with Kelsey in that situation, which you can do a couple of different things. So again, the streak, you do have to motion out, which is kind of a tell. So I would maybe try and develop some other setups. But again, you can just run something like this. You always have that quick read to Y. And then if you have enough time, you can of course throw it to Juju. Your streak is doing its job perfectly. This is a corner out that should get over most zone drops as well, which you love to see. So some of the other setups that you can go to with Kelsey is maybe a little out route. So you just throw him on a simple out route. That's going to help against man. It's going to help against zone as well. And you can really just throw this to Kelsey if you want. Honestly, both routes should be open, both the out route and the corner out, which is definitely very nice. And yeah, I mean, not too much. Another setup I like to kind of do, we'll disguise the corner out. A lot of times the user will run with the corner out. So what you can do is like a little backside in route. This will throw him off. You won't expect it. And you see how fast kind of Hardman cuts there. Sneaky dot, his user is highly likely to just not be in position to defend it. And overall, it does get open, just a lot of the time. All right, so I'll just show it one more time here with a little backside in route. And then we'll actually throw this to CEH. Again, you can throw this quickly. You throw it a little bit later as well. It's just going to be open every time. So good play there. Moving on, we got dig return. This is a nice play to go to man coverage. I just like to keep things simple, go with a little smoke screen. We are against zone coverage, which it does get open against because you see a lot of space between Hardman. Really, your two guys here are going to be Hardman and the in route. So you kind of just decide which one you want to throw there between those guys, especially against man coverage. Against zone, you also have the option to throw it to kill a Trav Kelsey here. This in route's not really open unless you could get a crazy pass lead and high ball. Against zone coverage, against cover 3, really, yeah, your read is going to be the zig. If he is using one of those guys, that's a situation where you just throw it to the one that he's not defending. Pretty simple stuff. And you see, again, just a lot of them open. So keep things simple. keep it basic, and just make easy reads. Good against man, good against zone, you'll take it. Last play is going to be bunch trail. I'm not as big of a fan against this, but you can get some nice reads on it. I like to go with a streak, of course, to open things up, but I actually like Kelsey's route here. So I would go wheel route, and then I would actually keep Kelsey on this little stick and up route because he gets open heavy on this against zone coverage. It also beats man coverage. So kind of the theme of bunch this year is getting routes that are good against zone and man. Now, it should be pretty easy to tell what your opponent's doing based on what he's playing. But a lot of times they can, mix things up by putting one side in a cover 3, maybe one side in a cover 2. So you see Kelsey's open. We already kind of established that CEH is going to be open on his wheel route every single time, which we know. And then let's show the corner out. The corner out is going to be similar to the deep corner one. I think almost identical, actually. So you'll just step up in the pocket, pass lead, that's the outside, and you're in business. Get off me. So, just a solid basic play. I like Kelsey's route a lot. It can't be manned up, and it's difficult to read as a user as well. A lot of times the users are going to have to go defend Juju. You get your best receiver in the slot, of course, and then you can, quick snap throw it to CEH in the flat. Easy 10 yards. We almost get 15 yards there. Just a simple flat route. But overall, it's going to do a video. If you guys did enjoy, drop a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below, and peace out.